navigated the arrow and actually into the object yet, but it's poised right here and it's ready, right? It's ready to navigate. If we want to do the navigation, that's when we have to do the dot, right? The dot will lock that in and actually go to the thing, right? Does that make sense? That's what dereferences. In other words, you're saying, hey, follow that reference and go there, right? The dot is what does that. So front says, I'm ready to navigate. When you say the dot, it says, oh yeah, go in there, right? I'm going in, diving into that object. And then if I say data, right? What's that going to do? Okay. Data is a reference to this string object, right? So do I need anything else or can I just do that?
You can just do that.
It's a reference to a string. A string knows how to print itself. I can just do that. I don't have to go call anything special to print a string, right? Just print the reference and the reference will print the string. Does that make sense? So front navigates to the first node, dot data. The data navigate, when you say dot data, then the data knows that it's the reference to a string. I can just print it, okay? So that's the code to get to the first student. I can just say front dot data. What if I want to print the second student's name? Now what?
Next.
Front dot next dot data, right? How does that work? Front is poised. When you hit the dot, it's going to be ready to be in this object. When you say next, it's poised and ready to follow the next pointer. When you hit the dot, it follows that pointer. You're now on this object. And now when you say data, it knows you're talking about that string. So front dot next dot data. And can you see what's going to happen if we want the next student? Front dot next dot next dot data. Okay, does that make sense? Follow the front reference, then follow the next reference, then follow that one's next reference, then get the data out of that thing. Okay, make sense? Okay, what if we do this?
Would that be an index out of bounds?
Close.
No next.
Close, except it's not an index because linked lists aren't indexed, but it's close. It's the same thing in the linked list world. That's a null pointer exception. What was the problem, right? Where did I actually get into danger territory? Right here, right? If you think about it, it's this dot that got me in trouble, right? Because printing next would be fine, right? That would print null. That would say, yep, this reference is null. So it would literally print out the word null on the screen. So the problem isn't getting here, right? The problem isn't being on this null reference. The problem is when you try to act on it, when you try to dereference it. So really that dot is what killed us, right? The dot gets us into danger. Does that make sense? You can navigate to, but you better not dereference and act on anything that points to, because there isn't anything and that's going to blow up, right? So that's going to be a null pointer exception. And you're going to get well acquainted with null pointer exceptions when you're writing linked list code, right? The nature of the beast. Okay, questions there? Okay. So hopefully all that stuff makes sense.